Hi, just back with a little update and want to share some things about what we eat because that's been a big question that I've had since I put out the first video. So I'll start with the update. I went to my doctor this week. My A1C was down to 5.8, which is great because we started in March at 9.8, and then let's see, April, May, June, I was down to 7.5, I think, somewhere, I don't know, 7 point something. And then now, my 6 month checkup, and it was down to 5.8. So everything is going in the right direction. In the last 3 months, I had lost 15 pounds since I had been to the doctor before, which brought us to the 75 overall. So, I mean, that is fantastic. I mean, I can't argue with that. I'm losing weight at a steady, safe, slow pace. Would I like it to be more? Absolutely. But I'm also happy with what we're doing. If you saw I did a couple of shorts, little videos about holding the dog food and, what 75 pounds actually looks like. I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, even 15 pounds, like the small bag that I was holding, is a huge difference. So, just start the journey. That's all I can tell you is just start. Every pound is another pound that you're not packing on your body. It's not, pressure on your knees. It's not pressure on your feet. It's just you can breathe better. You feel better with every pound. So celebrate every pound. Don't get like this huge thing in your mind. Definitely you need to have goals. Like, I have goals, but I'm not focused on the number. You know what I mean? Like, my clothes fit better, or I just see changes in my body and how I feel, and how I breathe, that kind of thing. And I'm celebrating every victory with this. And just trying to take every day as it comes. I'm not always perfect with it, but you know what? There's no carnivore police coming knocking on my door saying, "Hey, did you just eat a pickle?" you know, or whatever else. I mean, I can tell like when I mess up because I'm not been perfect with this. I've had foods that are off plan that wasn't meat, but you know I don't do it often, and when I do, I instantly know it. Like, I know the next day, I feel different. And so when you get to that point to where, you're feeling it when the next day when you do eat something that's not like the best for you, you realize pretty quickly that I really just don't even want to fool with that because I want to feel good. We want to feel good. And when you notice that difference, you want to correct that quickly. And it motivates you to not want to do that again. So with that being said, just mostly, what we eat, that's like the biggest question that people have been asking me. Beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. I mean, that's pretty much the basis of what we do. We do hamburgers. We do, like seasoned hamburger or hamburger with butter, or, that kind of thing. All beef hot dogs. We've recently discovered those. Those are good. Steak. I eat a lot of steak. But honestly, I mean, I was at Save A Lot yesterday, and the hamburger and the steak was pretty much the same price. I mean, there wasn't a lot of difference. So don't be thinking, oh, I can't afford to eat, steak every day or whatever. Mostly, you can. It might not be the best cut of steak or, that kind of thing. But I mean, honestly, all the videos and all the things that I've been seeing, if you can do bologna and hot dogs, like just straight bologna and hot dogs, you're still better off with that instead of eating, the pasta and the sugars and those kind of things. Just eliminate that. That's the best thing I can tell you is just start adding meat and eliminating the sugars and the pastas, the carbs. Just start slowly, start eliminating those things, and then over, a couple weeks or a month, you're gonna be eating mostly meat. And the meat can include, chicken and pork and those kind of things. It's just that the red meat, like your deer, your hamburgers, your lamb, buffalo, bison, those kind of things, the red meats provide more nutrition, and they're normally a more fatty cut, which is great because that's what you want. You want the fat. We've been programmed and we've been taught our whole lives, the food pyramid. Oh, here we go. Fats, you got to have a little tiny bit of fat, and you're supposed to have all these fruits and grains, and, no, it's wrong. We've been lied to. We've been deceived. That's not really what our body needs. And I'm just going off of like my personal experience. Of course, I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything. This is just my personal experience with this, and then the things that I have learned by watching tons and tons of YouTube videos and YouTube doctors, and just other people sharing their personal stories as to this way of eating. And if we think about it, the biggest thing is this is the proper human diet. Like meat, you think about, our ancestors back, a long time ago, they didn't have gardens and vegetables and, factories producing pastas and, those kind of things. They hunted and they gathered. They ate meat, and they ate all of the meat. They ate from nose to tail, as they say. You made a use for everything. And, you might feast for, a few days or whatever, and then you might be hungry, for a few days. And that's okay. I mean, you don't have to fast. We don't have to, in today's society, but it's not going to hurt us. It's not going to be a disaster, and we're not going to die. We might think so. I mean, I used to think so. I'm going to die if I don't eat, 3-4 times a day, whatever. But you don't. Most of the time now that I'm getting further along into this, I normally eat once a day. And it's just because that's all I want. I'm really not hungry. You just learn to listen to your cues. Why am I eating? Am I eating because I'm actually hungry? Or am I bored? Am I sad? Am I happy? I mean, most of us are emotional eaters. We eat for some reason other than actually being hungry, or at least I do. Everybody may not be the same way, but most people that, I've talked to, and most people that I'm around, that's just what we do. We eat when we gather with family. We eat when we gather with friends. It's just our lives revolve around food. And it's hard. I still struggle with that some because, it is fun to go out to eat. It is fun to have these big pitching dinners with friends and family and, that kind of thing. It is fun. My kids love to cook. They love to bake. So that's been a struggle because they love it, and I love watching them do it and letting them experiment and do, things with the food. But in the long run, that's not really helping us. It's not helping me because, of course, I want to taste what they make. I mean, let's be serious. If they're making something good, I want to taste it. But in the long run, it's not really good for them either. But, if they want to cook, they can still cook. Mom's just not going to participate. I'm just not going to eat it. We'll take it to friends or, something else. We'll give it to somebody that is not struggling, that's not on this journey with us. So I don't know. That's just kind of where we're at. I wanted to share, what we're eating, why we're eating it, why we're doing this. And that's part of it. You've just got to find your why. Um, and your why has to be greater than, the craving for that sugar or that, whatever. There's ways to socialize. There's ways to do things that don't revolve around food, and we're learning those. Um, like I mentioned, got my bike going. I got a bicycle, and I've ridden it a couple times. Still just in the yard. We haven't ventured out, anywhere. Just kind of in the ball court, in my driveway, just a little thing. We've been taking like 4-wheeler rides. Just trying to find things. Going for a walk. Going for a drive. Just finding things to do that necessarily don't revolve around food. Does that make sense? And actually, it's been better. Play a game. Get the cards out, or do something that is social that doesn't have to be food. It's hard. It's a struggle at times. I'm not gonna lie. We all struggle with the social aspects and just the fun of eating, trying new things. But we're just transitioning that now to finding new ways to make eggs. Eggs are versatile. The things that you can make with eggs, my mind has been blown. I had no idea that you could make so many things with very limited ingredients. 2 or 3 ingredients, and you can make like 100 different things, which you're still, eating on plan, but, it gives you a little bit of variety. People say, ugh, I couldn't eat a steak every single day. And, I'm bad about that too. I like variety. So usually if you see my plate, you see like a chunk of steak, you'll see a hot dog, you'll see some bacon, you'll eat, you'll see a chicken leg and some steak or something. Because I like to have something different, to kind of break things up a little bit or whatever. I don't usually just eat a steak. There's usually something else or, something with it. And occasionally I'll use, like, you do fried onions or something like that. No, it's not on the plan, but, it works for me. If occasionally I want to fry up some onions and garlic or something, or have a little salsa on my eggs, then I do. Like I mentioned before, there's no carnivore police, no keto police, whatever, that's coming knocking on your door telling you you're doing this right or doing it wrong. You have to find that for yourself. You find the balance that works for you, that works for your family, and then you just go with it. Like I said, just start incorporating more meat, more real meat, more red meat, more, fatty meats. Incorporate more fat, incorporate more real butter into what your normal routine is. And that way you don't end up with any of the yucky side effects. You can do this cold turkey. I don't recommend it because you're going to feel crappy and you're probably going to quit. Let's just be honest, because if you go into this and you get like the major runs, or something for several days, that's not going to work for most people. You've got to go to work. You've got to do things, you have responsibilities, you have things to do. So if you ease into this just over a period of time, then you're not going to notice the side effects. Your body's going to adjust, daily as you go, and then it's going to eliminate a lot of the things. There's also a thing called keto flu. If you go into this too quickly and, your body is withdrawing from sugar. I've learned recently that sugar is like cocaine. We think, oh, I would never, do those kind of drugs or whatever, we think we wouldn't. But truly eating the sugar and being addicted to the sugar and the carbs is the same. Our body reacts in the same way. We have to have it. We have to have that hit. I don't know how many times I've said, I just need a piece of chocolate, or I just need, a scoop of mashed potatoes, or, whatever it is. There's just, in our brains, sometimes we just get to where it's like, I just have to have this. And it's because of the addiction, and our body is used to that, high, that hit that we get from that specific whatever it is. And, now it was rough at first. Like, you really needed, the sugar or the carb or the, whatever it is. But, eventually it does get better. It gets easier. Are there still days? Absolutely, there's still days that I just really want, something bad. Chocolate or a cupcake or, a cookie or candy or whatever. But my why and how I feel not doing that gives me the motivation, the willpower, I guess you would call, I don't know, but it helps me to overcome that for the most part. Like I said, I've failed. I am nowhere near perfect on any of it. Nowhere near perfect on any of it. But I do the best that I can do to make the right decisions, to make better decisions based on how I feel. So I'm just want to encourage you, that this way of eating is really, it's been what our ancestors ate. It's the proper human diet, as Dr. Berry says, and, a lot of the other doctors. And it wasn't until the last 100 years, or, a little over 100 years, something like that, where we started having all of these processed foods, the things that were made in the factories, the cereals and the grains and all of these things that are mass produced. Before that, they ate what they had. You killed and you ate, you hunted and you gathered. And you can take that however you want. If you want berries or something like that sometimes, or nuts, I'm sure that our ancestors at some point had nuts and berries. I personally try to stay away from those, just because, especially with berries, because they're sweet. They taste great. And once you kind of get that sweet taste back in your mouth, if you've not had it for a while, then that kind of brings back all the cravings again, and you want more of the sweet. So I try really hard to stay away from any of that. But like I said, that's just my personal. If everybody's different, you might be able to handle sugar and things better than I can. But that's just something for me. If I taste it, I'm gonna want more. So do what works for you, but incorporate more meat, more red meat, especially more fatty meat, more real butter. Don't do the margarine. That stuff is like plastic, and it is not doing anything for us. Do more meat, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. If you like fish is fine. Throw some fish in there, just find what works for you, find your why, and then just go for it and see how you feel. Give it, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and just experiment. Experiment with more meat and see how your body's feeling. See if you're feeling more full. See if your sugar cravings are going down. Don't snack. The biggest thing with this way of eating is, you eat until you are full, like comfortably stuffed. I don't have a limit on how much steak I can eat. I had a 20-ounce steak the other day, and it was fantastic. But, I wasn't hungry at all, like, the next day. So it's filling. It's just a different filling. And I can tell, like, if I eat of some vegetables, like the other day I had some squash and zucchini from our garden. We grew it. So I had some squash and zucchini with my meat. But you know what? I was hungry again a lot sooner than I am if I'm just eating the meat. And I recognize that now. You know, I wouldn't have recognized that 6 months ago or whatever, but now I recognize that, wow, I got hungry a lot quicker. And I don't know if it's because, your body just processes that, gets it out, a lot quicker than it does the meat. Um, I don't know the science to all of that, but I know how I feel. And that's what I want you to feel. I want you to feel better. I want you, I want to help you. I see so many differences and I just feel so much better that I want to share that with everybody else. And so if you have more questions, comments, I put a couple of shorts out there of me riding my bike just because, hey, that's fun. And that was like a huge thing for me. And I put some just meal things, like sample things of what we've been eating, what we eat. It's pretty dull most of the time. I mean, it's literally just meat. There's not a whole lot of, variation or pictures, whatever, to do with that. You just hamburger or steak or, some bacon, a few eggs, boiled eggs, fried eggs, scrambled eggs, whatever, however you want to do eggs. Like I said, there's hundreds of recipes. Just get on Google and have fun with it. Try, experiment if you get bored, and I don't know, I guess that's kind of all I have for right now. I just wanted to update and just hopefully encourage you and share a little bit about what we're eating and how we're doing it. Like I said, if you have questions, shoot me a message. You can PM me, you can comment on here, whatever. Stop me if you see me in the store. Sandy, what are you doing about, this or that? Like I said, the biggest questions that I'd been having is what do you eat? How do I get started on that? How do you just eat the same thing every day? Well, we don't. I mean, I do eat a lot of steak, but I enjoy steak and I just feel better. My personal body just feels better when I'm eating the beef. So that's the beef and the bacon. I mean, I have to have bacon. My body just feels better when I do that. So that's why I pretty much just eat the same things for the most part every day. So if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll be back in another, week or few days whenever I've got something else that's, pressing or more questions that I get in, and I'll be happy to share, what we're doing and what's working for me and what's working for, my house. And I also want to do a video coming up soon that you can meet the family. I know most of you, here already know us that are watching this, but I'm hoping that, through this journey that we'll be getting more people in that don't know me, that don't know our family. And I'd love to be an encouragement to them too. So if this is a little weird, when I start introducing my husband and my kids and you're like, yeah, I've known you guys, I knew you when you were pregnant with all those kids, just kind of bear with us and know that I'm trying to make these to people that don't know us. And of course the people that know us, I'm happy that you're here and I love y'all and you're just, everyone has been so encouraging, and I really, really appreciate, the encouragement and just the prayers and the comments and things that I've been getting, that people that are noticing that we're doing something. So anyway, this is getting to be about 25 minutes, so I need to hush. But anyway, I'll hopefully I'll see you guys soon, and I just love y'all. Have a great day. Bye.